People don't know how to drive. He slammed that dude. Yo, this is what happens when it rains in the south. Alrighty, welcome back. I did get some wrap in. About to try to wrap this hood. It's my first time wrapping a car. I wrapped a bunch of U-Haul stuff. Cut a piece out. I have been working on this pretty hard for the last week. I got the fenders off, still need to sand some of them. But I'm about to set up the tripod. Y'all guys can watch me try to lay this thing down. Alright, so I'm going to have to kind of experiment. Just gonna be lay down. So, go this one. been doing too much lately. It's been kind of cold. I ain't had no money. Still got these two projects right here. I did get a exhaust stud situation going on the flange for the exhaust, for the studs were broken. Pretty much had to cut one out and weld a screw in place because I tried welding nuts to the studs and they wouldn't come out. So I'm about to throw this flywheel on, and I probably need to throw my clutch line on in there. But I'm hoping I can put this thing around the yard in a couple weeks, or at least in the next week. If I try hard enough, probably could. So I'm gonna get on that. Alrighty, so I hate working under cars, but see, that's my, I don't know if you can see it, but I just welded a bolt in there. It's actually a Volkswagen bolt that fits an exhaust nut. Couldn't get that one out, but that guy's in there, and it'll hold the exhaust on. I got this clutch line here. See right there, there's a thing there that holds it in. There's one there. Got my ratchet here. I'll go ahead and slap that in place, and I get that flywheel in there. Then it should be pretty smooth sailing. This is a pretty easy job. I think I'm gonna need a cross member for the transmission though, because I think the automatic one is different, and I welded on the manual one to fit the Mustang transmission into other Z. Alright, so the clutch line is in there. Bolts to right there, but the jack's in the way. If you look, there's a bolt hole there. There's a bolt hole there. Just move that jack out the way. That'll bolt into place. That is good to go. Now I am not afraid to throw this transmission in here. I gotta put the flywheel on next. And I am straight up laying under this car in the transmission tunnel. Actually gonna throw the starter mount on next. It just looks easy to get to without the flywheel on there. You can see what's going on. I don't know why they took it off. You don't have to take it off to get the transmission out. But it's time for it to go back in. I'll see you under the car. That's where it goes. It hangs on these two bolts here. Easy enough. Go ahead and get that guy on there. Ain't got enough hands to hold the camera at the same time. Alright, that guy's back on there. Now I can put the flywheel on. Smooth sailing so far. Torque specs. Who needs torque specs when you got an impact with thread locker? I'm gonna send that guy on there. Now I know you guys might think this flywheel looks a little rough. I'm not trying to hold power. I'm just trying to drive this thing. The other car is the race car. I mean, I only expect to get about 3 years out of this clutch anyways. And then I'll come down here and replace it in about 3 years. This is actually a brand new flywheel. I mean, it's about 3 or 4 years old, but it don't have a whole lot of miles on it. It's just been sitting, and the clutch that was in here is about the same age. There's plenty of life on the clutch left. Once again, this thing don't make over like 160 horsepower, so I'm not worried about the clutch slipping or anything. That guy is on and good to go. I'm trying to remember if I have a clutch alignment tool for this thing. If not, I'm just gonna have to hope for the best. Okay, so I just found the flywheel bolts that come off the flywheel and not the flex plate. And they're considerably longer, so I'm gonna go ahead and swap them out. Got one swapped out already. But those are definitely a whole lot shorter. And that one does go all the way in, so swapping these guys out right quick. Just a quick example, the one on the right is the one that came with the manual transmission. The one on the left is the one that came with the automatic transmission. The flex plate is a lot more thin than the flywheel as well. Alright, so it's actually on there now. Now it's time to get the clutch. Slap it up on there, see what happens. So I've done this a few times without the clutch alignment tool. I think it looks straight. A few times in the past. Also, it's my first time seeing this motor spin. That makes me happy. Makes it easy to tighten down all these nuts and bolts down here as well. But I think that this clutch is good to go. Got this transmission going in here. It's just the stock non-turbo 71C. I've been using it for about 8 years. Don't really grind. For some odd reason, the throwout bearing likes to go out. This is about the 4th throwout bearing that I put on this transmission. It's spinning, but it makes some noises when you're pressing the clutch pedal sometimes, but we're gonna send it. Clean off this input shaft. I'm glad I remembered to do that before I started shoving this thing in there. Probably gonna put a dab of grease on them splines as well. Not a whole lot. I don't want to get it on the clutch, but it does help it get in there. Just a little dab. Just enough to make it slippery. So this guy is in there. I gotta tighten a couple bolts down. I got my extension over there with the wobbly. I'm actually at a point I could slap a starter on here and see how it runs, but I'm pretty sure that the gas tank is gonna have to come down, and I think it's more of a pain in the butt to drop that gas tank than it is to put the transmission in. But I'm hoping it's not horrible in there, but I'm pretty sure that fuel pump in there is going to be no good. I've already opened the top of it where the fuel sending unit is, and it's a little bit rusted up there. So let me get this transmission tightened down over here so I can go back there and start looking at that gas tank. Yee, okie dokie. Got speed sensor swapped over. I had to go to Facebook to figure out where those plugs go. I'm still waiting for replies. I'm probably not gonna get to the gas tank today. Daniel's gonna come over, we're gonna play some card games. But I do want to try to slip that exhaust in there. I still gotta get a gasket for it, so I can't put it on there quite yet. But I just want to see how it fits up in there. And appreciate you guys checking me out. I know I haven't posted in a while. Probably not gonna post a lot over the winter. Gonna try to pay off some debt so I can afford to work on more stuff. Whenever I do work on something, of course I'll record it. But I appreciate you checking me out. If you don't mind, give me a like, give me a subscribe. We'll see you next time.